This is a special sports presentation from News Radio 1000 KTOK, Oklahoma City. Deer Creek High School football is on the air. Now with the call of the game, here's Scott Swiden and the voice of the Antlers, Randy Renner.
Well, hi again, everyone, from Heflin Field in Deer Creek tonight. We're just about set to go for the Antlers and the Northwest Classen Knights. I want to remind you that Deer Creek football throughout the 2013 season is presented by OG&E, by First Liberty Bank, by the Deer Creek Sonic at Northwest 178th and Portland. Antler football also brought to you by Heritage Feeders, Cimarron Construction, Swadley's Barbecue, the Deer Creek Chamber of Commerce, Deer Creek Storage, Edmund Hyundai, Teeners Western Outfitters, the Renaissance Hotel in downtown Oklahoma City, Precision Telephone, P&K John Deere, Genesis Urgent Care, Reynolds Ford, and the Deer Creek Animal Clinic. Scott Swiden alongside as usual. Scott, Northwest Classen tonight, and then another big game with McGinnis. It's kind of been big game, little game, big game, little game, big game.
Well, it is, and it's a good thing for to work on execution and the things that we saw problems with last week, which certainly there were a lot of issues last week, most of those caused by the Guthrie Blue Jays, but it's a time where you can get some people healthy, you can clean up some things execution-wise, and you can prepare for the McGinnis game next week, which will be a huge game in determining whether or not you play the first place team from the opposite district or the second place team from the opposite district, which that could be the Ardmore Tigers. They're number one and unbeaten right now in the other district, so probably want to stay away from there, plus the drive. All odds, as I said last week, if things go according to chalk, it should be Del City at Cal-Sioux Stadium.
And we'll see. It doesn't always go according to plan, but that's certainly the way it looks right now. We talked to Coach Grant Gower yesterday at the walkthrough. Northwest Classen does not have a whole lot of players. They suited up only 24. Coach Gower said because of that, tempo is going to be a big issue for tonight.
We come out with our approach of increasing our tempo and the pace, and this week it'll be important for us to play at a fast pace, fast tempo, because the faster we play, usually the better we play.
And that's Coach Grant Gower, and we're just before kickoff, but here's a few words that he had to say about tonight's opponent, Northwest Classen.
They don't have great numbers, but they do have some really great athletes. I mean, they've got outstanding athletes in the skill positions, and they got some good linemen up front. The problem they face is just the depth and the numbers. And so, as long as those guys are healthy and in good shape and not worn out, then it's going to be pretty tough. But so that's part of our focus this week has been to go at a little bit faster pace offensively.
That's Coach Grant Gower, and he talked also about a couple of their athletes, and we'll get to that in just a moment when Northwest Classen goes on offense. They won the toss and elected to defer. It was breezy yesterday afternoon when we talked to Coach, and it is breezy here this evening, although the wind has calmed down just a little bit. Louis Lopez will kick off. He is a straight-on kicker. We haven't seen one of those in about 40 years, and the kick is coming to one of the up men at the 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, that's verbal, 45, 40, going to his right, out of bounds at the 35-yard line in Northwest territory, but there is a flag down on the play.
I think Daniel Smith's going to get flagged for a blocking infraction there at about the 35-yard line in Northwest Classen territory. It's going to be an illegal block in the back.
Well, at least it happened late in that run.
It did. Still, you want to clean that up. However, where it occurred doesn't really hurt the field position that much. The ball will be at the Northwest Classen 44-yard line, so Deer Creek will have possession on that really nice run back by Cole Verbal.
The Antlers come out with Caden Sander at quarterback, Marcus Coleman, the running back. Noah McGraw split wide right. That's the short side of the field. 3 receivers wide to the left. Now Coleman goes in motion, and he'll get the pass from Sander, and he cannot hold on to it. Bobbled it. Out about the 45, so incomplete.
That was dangerously close to a catch and a fumble. In fact, that's what I would have said. I thought he had possession and turned upfield. And for Darian Ashley, who we heard a lot from last year from this Northwest Classen team, made a great play and knocked the ball out of his hands. And had they not blown that incomplete, he would have been off to the races for a touchdown.
Coleman still in the backfield with Caden Sander. 2 receivers now to the right and 2 to the left. Sander barks the signal, straight back to pass. Throws, has a man, a 40, 35, that's Wilton, down to the 30, and that'll be enough for a first down. Sander to Wilton. Louis Lopez with the tackle.
He's brought down by number 53.
That's a gain of 13.
First and 10 Antlers. Ball at the Northwest Classen 31.
Ball at the Classen 31-yard line. Give goes to the first man through. That's Coleman, I believe, down to about the 25.
Marcus Coleman, the ball carrier.
It was Marcus, and they'll spot the ball at the 25. So that's a gain of 6. And it'll be second down and 4 at the Northwest 25-yard line. Sander with 3 receivers left, 1 to the right. Coleman, pistol formation, pitch back to Coleman, bobbles it for a moment, hauls it in, 25, and out of bounds down near the 20-yard line. Actually, they'll spot him not as close to the 20 as I thought, just at the 24, so Coleman just gets 1, and it'll bring up third down and 3 at the Classen 24. 3 receivers left, 1 to the right. Coleman still the running back, standing just to the left of Sander. Now we have a lot of movement on the defensive line, but no flags. And now Sander may be changing the play at the line of scrimmage. Pistol formation now. Coleman standing right behind Caden Sander. And Coleman will have the fake, and Sander keeps it across the 15. Caden Sander will score. Touchdown, Deer Creek. Everybody, including me, went for the fake to Marcus Coleman, and then Sander kept it himself, and there was a big, big hole, and he scored the touchdown from 24 yards out.
And as he's done many times this year, Caden Sander made the correct read on the zone read, kept the football, and avoided a tackler at about the 18-yard line, cut back to the right and ran it in the end zone untouched.
With that run, Caden Sander now has a little over 600 yards rushing, and that is his 7th rushing touchdown this season. Dylan Noble on to try the extra point. Ball is down, kick in the air, and it's good. Timeout on the field. We've played less than a minute. 11:06 to go. First quarter, our score, the Antlers 7 and the Knights nothing. You're listening to Deer Creek Football on KTOK. No. We could do the liners at halftime. It seems like that the officials really run things on pretty much 60 seconds and no more.
Or less.
And also, let's go ahead and we'll run as many spots as we can here in the first half, because if things go well tonight, we may have a running clock in the second half.
Back to receive for the Knights will be number 1, Tiabalik Vick, and number 2, Fredarian Ashley. Kicking off for the Antlers, number 16, Dylan Noble.
Back at Heflin Field in Deer Creek, Dylan Noble set to kick off, and he will kick off into a northerly breeze that earlier today was blowing about 20, 25 miles an hour. It looks like it's down now to about 10 to 15 or so. Tobalik Vick is back deep to receive for the Knights. And this is a low line drive kick. Vick, it bounces at 7. He can't come up with it now, has it at 6. Across the 10 and to the 15. And out near the 20-yard line goes Tobalik Vick. John Keith on the tackle. Tobalik Vick and Frederian Ashley, numbers 1 and 2, if you're watching on television on Deer Creek Antlers.tv. Those guys are a handful. Vick has 716 yards rushing, and Ashley has 990 coming into this ball game. In fact, Ashley has almost 1,700 total yards. Classen sends 3 receivers to the left and 3 to the right, and the snap is over the head of the quarterback, and he will have to fall on it back at the 5-yard line.
Recovered by number 10, Eric McGee.
Eric McGee, that's their quarterback, falling on that.
McGee's not short, and that ball was just snapped well over his head.
Second down and 25 for the Knights. Ball at their own 5-yard line.
The loss is all the way back to the 5. Blitz coming. Give goes to the first man through, and he is bottled up just ahead of the 5-yard line. And that's Tobalik Vick. Daniel Smith on the tackle. It'll be 3rd down now and 25 from the Northwest 7-yard line. Snappers back to the quarterback, throws out incomplete pass intended for Frederian Ashley. And it'll be 4th down.
Well, Jackson Smith came up and made the play, but he lowered his head, Randy, and he's getting up very slowly, and I believe he's a little wobbly. He's being aided over there by Blake Landon, and I think they need to help him off the field. He's shook up. The officials haven't caught on to that yet. They need to get Jackson Smith off the field, and the officials haven't caught on to that yet. And now they finally have.
And he's got a little bit of a limp as well.
Well, he just got his bell rung.
And Jackson Smith will be checked out by the coaching staff. Let's take a quick break here. 10:02 to go first quarter. Our score, Deer Creek 7 and Northwest Classen nothing. You're listening to Deer Creek Football on KTOK. Could.
Possible.
Probably won't, but could. Probably 50 for sure. Rayson Churchill back to kick. Kyle Sander back deep to receive for Deer Creek, standing at the Northwest 35-yard line. Jackson Smith got off the field under his own power, and he's being checked out by the training staff on the Deer Creek bench. Churchill standing in his own end zone. Snap is back in good shape, gets the punt underway, and it's not bad. Be taken by Sander at the 38-yard line. Sander coming left, looking for a place to run, cuts upfield, 35 and down to about the 32-yard line. 30-yard punt and a 6-yard return by Kyle Sander. His brother Caden will bring the team out from the huddle over on the near side. 7-0 Antlers. 9:50 to go first quarter. And the Antlers have it at the Northwest 32-yard line. This game has been played in Northwest territory so far. Marcus Coleman, the running back, pistol formation, 2 receivers right, 2 to the left. That's the short side of the field. Sanders steps up, calls the signal, straight back to pass. Blitz coming from Northwest. Sander gets away from it, rolling to his right, looking. Now throwing as a man out there, and it's just beyond his fingertips. And the pass is incomplete. That's Michael Wilton.
Intended for number 81, Michael Wilton.
And it'll bring up
Broken
second
on the
and
play by number
10
Christopher Briggs for the Knights.
from the Northwest 32.
Second down
Wilton
and
made a
10,
great effort
ball
at
for
that.
32.
He stretched out completely and sold out for the ball, just slightly overthrown on the sideline.
Wilton and Cole Verbal split wide to the right. Two receivers left. Sander rolling right, looking, throws, has a man, 25, gets away. That's Verbal, down to about the 22-yard line. Frederian Ashley on the stop, so Sander to Cole Verbal. The gain down to the 23, so that's a pickup of 9. It'll bring up 3rd and 1 from the Northwest 23-yard line. 3 receivers to the left, 1 to the right. Marcus Coleman, the running back, behind Caden Sander. Sander faked Coleman, keeps it himself, has the first down as he ducks inside the 20-yard line and gets down to about the 16. Thomas Rhodes Newby making the stop for Northwest Classen. So Sander the gain from the 23 down, it looks like, to the 17. So a pickup of 6. First and 10 at the 17-yard line. Sander fakes to Coleman. Sander keeps it himself, gets down to the 15. May have a horse collar tackle here, or perhaps a face mask.
Brought down by number 36.
Yeah, that was definitely a horse collar by number 44, Jaquan Simmons.
Well, Sander jerked when he was brought down, and there you go, the
Personal
horse
foul,
collar
horse collar.
tackle,
Horse collar is
and that's
the call.
Jaquan Simmons. And so they'll mark the penalty from the 15 down to, it looks like, the 8. The 8, and it's 1st and 1. So
Should be a 1st and goal. That's a personal foul penalty.
1st and goal.
I believe that's what the umpire.
and now they're gonna put the yardsticks down, and it will be 1st and goal at the 8 of Northwest Classen. And the give goes to Coleman, and Coleman will be wrapped up
Coleman, the ball carrier.
for a loss back behind the 10-yard line, and that's Louis Lopez.
Stopped by number 53, Luis Lopez, and number 48, Thomas Newby.
So the loss from the 8 back to the 11, so that's a loss of
Loss
3.
on the play. Second down
And
and
it's
goal.
2nd and goal from the Northwest
Ball at about the
11-yard
11-yard
line. Coleman still the running back next to Caden Sander, standing just to his left. Sander back to pass, looking into the end zone, throws, has a man, touchdown Antlers.
Touchdown, Antlers.
And that, I think, is Noah McGraw.
Sanders'
Yes,
pass is complete to number
Noah
12,
McGraw with a
Noah
touchdown.
McGraw.
Pretty simple slant pattern. McGraw gets inside leverage on the safety that had to come up and cover him as an inside receiver, and there was virtually no one there. All he had to do was secure the catch. Nice pass by Caden Sander.
That's Noah McGraw's 4th touchdown catch of the season. Dylan Noble on to try the extra point. Ball down, kick in the air is good, and we have a timeout on the field with 8:13 to go first quarter. Our score now, the Antlers 14 and Northwest Classen nothing. You're listening to Deer Creek Football on KTOK.
Back to receive for the Knights is number 1, Tiabalik Vic. Kicking off for the Antlers, number 16 is Dylan Noble.
Back at Heflin Field at Deer Creek, Randy Renner, Scott Swiden with you, and also you can watch on DeerCreekAntlers.tv, DeerCreekAntlers.tv. The high school crew from Deer Creek up here in the booth with us, and manning a couple of cameras down below us. Tavalik Vic standing at about his 8-yard line. He has about 1,700 all-purpose yards this season. Tobalake Vic and Frederian Ashley, they're two athletes who are very, very dangerous. High kick that will come to Tobalake Vic at the 7-yard line. Vic out across the 10, 15, 20. Tobalake Vic tackled just past the 25, out about the 26, 27-yard line, and that's Eli Hooks with the tackle.
He's brought down by number 68 Eli Hooks. And number 5, Morgan McFerrin.
And the Knights will have it 1st and 10 at their own 26-yard line.
Got a little bit of to see a little bit of the speed right there as Vic comes up with that 19-yard return, but he gets through that tackle of Eli Hooks, and he's got a lot of green in front of him.
Eric McGee is the quarterback. Tobalake Vic, the running back, standing to his right. Frederian Ashley, slot left. High snap, but McGee has it. Now he's throwing it out long. Has a man wide open, but the pass was incomplete, and that was David Jones, who was, all by himself.
Well, the Antlers bit on the pump fake to Frederian Ashley on the bubble screen, and nobody covered Jones deep. So shame on you. You gotta maintain the discipline of where you're covering, and they did not do that.
And lucky for them, the pass by McGee was overthrown. And it's 2nd down and 10. Two receivers go to the left. Frederian actually is in a slot left side. One receiver to the right, that's the short side of the field. Vic, the running back. And McGee throws to the left side, incomplete, intended for Ashley. And again, Ashley was there, but the pass was not.
Well, and Matt Hart, had he had his head up and realized that Ashley didn't know the ball was coming, he could have had a shot at a pick six right there.
And now it's 3rd and 10, 7:58 to go first quarter. It's 14-0 Antlers. Ball is at Northwest 26-yard line. They send one receiver split wide way left, another to the right. That's the short side of the field. Pistol formation. And now the give goes to Vic, and he will be tackled right at the line of scrimmage. Tobalake Vic, John Keith on the stop, and Vic with basically nothing. Let's see where they put the football down. I think it's going to be back at the 26-yard line. So that will be no gain by Tobalake Vic, and it's 4th and 10.
And that was a good-looking play until John Keith came from his middle linebacker spot and blew
just
that
blew
up,
it up,
because
yes.
he had a blocker in front. If he gets by Keith, he had room to run.
Back to kick for the Knights is number 46.
Kyle Sander back
to return.
Deep to receive again.
There's number 10.
Churchill,
Sander.
Rayson Churchill to punt for Northwest Classen. Gets the snap, gets his foot into it. High end-over-end kick taken by Kyle Sander at the 42, out of the 45, 50-yard line, and will be tackled right there. A 33-yard punt
Sander on the return
by Churchill.
He's brought down
and Sander gets 8 yards on the return.
Correction, number 16,
and the ball will be spotted down in Deer Creek territory at the Antlers' 49-yard line.
And this will be the first play from scrimmage inside Deer Creek territory.
And just barely at that.
And we've only played a little over 4 minutes in the game.
And it's 14-0 Antlers. Antlers with 3 receivers to the right. That's the wide side of the field. Noah McGraw is split to the left. That's the short side. Caden Sander may be changing the play at the line of scrimmage. Pistol formation. Marcus Coleman, the running back. Sander goes Coleman. Big hole. 50, 45, 40, 35, 30, 25, 20. Marcus Coleman in for the touchdown. 51 yards.
Did that remind you any at all of an old veer? Quick veer handoff right up the gut in between the center and the guard, and Marcus Coleman was untouched. He got through that first line of blockers, and boom, he was gone. The speed showed up there.
Well, the blocking's been good tonight. We've seen a couple of big holes in the middle. Caden Sander on his touchdown run had a big hole in the middle, and that was 24 yards. Marcus Coleman, 51 yards. Dylan Noble in to try the extra point. Snap is back, ball down, kick in the air, and it's good. Timeout on the field, 7:31 to go. We're still in the first quarter. Our score now, the Antlers 21, Northwest Classen nothing. You're listening to Deer Creek Football on KTOK.
Yes,
Yes,
that is correct.
Yes, we're doing that. I'm sorry. You haven't. I guess you haven't been here. If you have not, you haven't done this in a couple of weeks. I guess Gannon's done it for a couple of weeks. We've been playing some bumper music the last couple of weeks.
I have too much time on my hands. Let's just put it that way. Well, thank you very much.
Back to receive for the Knights is number 1, Tiabalik Vic. Kicking off for the Antlers will be number 16, Dylan Noble.
Just keep them rolling.
Randy Renner, Scott Swiden back with you from Heflin Field in Deer Creek. The Antlers lead it 21-0, and there's still 7:31 to go in the first quarter. Tiabalik Vic will be back deep for Northwest Classen. Here's the kick into the wind, coming down at the 8-yard line, takes a big bounce. Vic corrals it at the 6, looking for some place to go, and there is no place to go. He's run out of bounds inside the 15-yard line. And that's Marcus Coleman. And Northwest will take over 1st and 10 at, looks like they're going to mark the ball. Let's see where they put it down. Right at maybe the 15-yard lines where the linesman's standing. That's where it'll be. At the Northwest 15, their third possession. And so far, it's been a couple of 3-and-outs for Northwest Classen. 2 receivers to the right. Frederick Ashley is one of those. And another receiver split wide way left. And now Tiabalik Vic goes in a slot left. Man in motion is Ashley, and Ashley gets the ball, and he's tripped up at the 15-yard line, maybe the 16. Frederick Ashley came into this game with 990 yards rushing.
That was a little bit more of a self-tackleization there than anything. Brandon Kidd was there to finish the job, but I think Ashley
Are you telling me that on this? Are you
tackle.
telling me on this day after Halloween you didn't see the hand reach up from underneath the AstroTurf and drag him down?
I did not.
You didn't? Oh, okay. Timeout on the field. 7:03 to go. First quarter. Our score remains Deer Creek 21, Northwest Classen nothing. You're listening to Deer Creek football on KTOK.
You just keep running commercials, and when we run out, we run out. I'm very eclectic. There will be no country, however. No country, 0.
McBride Orthopedic Hospital is proud to provide premier orthopedic services to Deer Creek athletes and their families. We appreciate the support of McBride Orthopedic Hospital. At Farmers, we believe in smarter coverage because the more you know, the better you can plan for what's ahead. Find your local agent, Brad Willis, at 405-286-3600. We are insurance, we are farmers. Resuming play. 2nd down and 9 for the
pass, throws it long downfield. It is overthrown over everybody's head. Darian Jefferson was the intended receiver. Bryson Bowers down there defending, and it was over everybody's head.
But that was a pretty darn good-looking pass.
Oh, it was.
Beautiful spiral.
Yeah, oh, yeah, yeah.
And, I mean, he threw that ball from the 10-yard line, and it landed at the opposite 35. That's a 55-yard gun right there.
And Coach Gower was saying that, he's got a pretty good arm. It's just, he can spin it. He just can't hit many guys.
That had a beautiful spiral.
2 receivers to the left. Frederick Ashley in a slot. 2 receivers to the right. And in the slot right is Vic. McGee straight back to pass. Big rush, and he's taken down, sacked near the 5-yard line.
McGee is sacked.
And John Keith
35, John Keith
was in there on the sack among a couple of others. And the ball will be spotted back right up around the 6-yard line. I think is where it's going to wind
give him
up.
the 7. If you look at the linesmen are both at the 7.
Oh, right. There we go. Back at the 7, and it's
back to receive with the
time for another punt, another 3 and out. So a loss of 9 on the sack.
Another timeout by the Knights.
Timeout on the field.
Timeout. All right, timeout on the field. 6:17 to go first. Boy, it's been a slow first quarter. 21-0 Antlers. You're listening to Deer Creek Football on KTOK.
This year, be sure to stop by the Chick-fil-A at Quail Springs Mall and take your ticket stub for a special offer on the back.
Down to the 35, 30, 25, and Sander down near the 21 or 2-yard line. 33 yards on the punt, a 20-yard return by Kyle Sander. So we're back deep in Northwest Classen Knight territory as they put the ball down. Oh, they move it all the way back to the 24. I thought it was going to be the 21 or the 22, but I'm terrible at figuring out where the strike zones are going to put the ball down. You know that.
Yeah, 21 was the correct spot. I don't know how it came back to the 24.
2 receivers left, 2 receivers right. Pistol formation, Caden Sander and Marcus Coleman. Or no, that's Alec James, and James gets the handoff and gets down near the 20-yard line. First time we've seen Alec James tonight. And they'll put the ball at the 22, so a pickup of a couple for Alec James. It'll bring up 2nd down and 8 from the Northwest Classen 22-yard line.
2nd down and 8.
Sander, James just to his left. Sander straight back to pass. Sander looking, now runs at the 25, gets away from a couple of guys, running to his left, ducks upfield and runs out of bounds at about the 22. Christopher Briggs on the tackle. So Caden Sander will get back to the line of scrimmage.
I think he's gonna end up losing a yard there.
Oh, they're going to put it down at the 22. And
okay, I thought we had the 21 last time.
I had 22.
Got it then. No gain.
3rd and 8. It may have been at the 21, but I wrote 22.
Okay. Well, we know how you are spotting.
Absolutely. Sanders straight back to pass. Little screen pass to Coleman. Has it at the 25. 20. Makes a move at the 15 down to the 10. Has a first down and brought down at about the 8-yard line. Topolik Vic and Christopher Briggs on the stop. Sander to Marcus Coleman. A gain of 14 on that pass, and it's 1st and goal at the 8-yard line. 3 receivers to the right, 1 to the left. That's Noah McGraw. Marcus Coleman still in at running back now, replacing Alec James, who was in for a couple of plays. Give goes to Coleman, dancing at the 5. Coleman heading for the end zone. He is in for the touchdown, and it's 27-0. Marcus Coleman with his 2nd touchdown of the night.
And there was that speed again, as once he got past the line of scrimmage, he broke to the left corner pylon of the end zone, and just nobody there to get him.
That's Marcus Coleman's 9th rushing touchdown of the season. Dylan Noble with the extra point. Ball is in the air, and the kick is good. Timeout on the field, 5:04 to go, first quarter. And the score now, the Antlers 28 and Northwest Classen nothing. You're listening to Deer Creek Football on KTOK.
Back to receive the kickoff for the Knights will be number 1, Tiabalik Vic. Kicking off for the Antlers, number 16, Dylan Noble.
Randy Ritter and Scott Swiden back with you, and the Deer Creek Antlers.tv crew. Dylan Noble puts his foot into it, and this one is sailing toward Tiabalik. Actually, it'll come to one of the short men at the 15-yard line, across the 20, 25, still going out to the 30-yard line. And that was one of their up men, and this will be about their best field position. That was Ladero Hollingsworth. The ball will be spotted at the Northwest Classen
with the return.
30, I believe, is where they're going to put it down.
Brought down by number 79, Donovan Hayes.
And as I look back, that will be their best field position of the night.
And we have yet another timeout. Not sure what this is. Oh, we've got an injured player. That's what it is. And you know, Randy, that's John Keith, who Hollingsworth slammed into at about the 25 and knocked backwards. So I guess John Keith got his bell rung just a little bit.
Official timeout.
And John Keith, Coach Gower is helping him off the field. And he looks like his bell is maybe still ringing, actually.
Yes, I think so. They've taken his helmet off. They're going to make him go back and visit with the trainer for a little bit. And that, you know, with this game the way it is, that might be the last we see of John Keith tonight.
Certainly might. It's 28-0, and we still have just under 5 minutes to go in the first quarter. 2 receivers to the left. That's the wide side of the field. 2 to the right. Now one of those in motion from right to left. Give goes to Tiabalik Vic. Vic is strung out and knocked down at the 30-yard line. That's basically the line of scrimmage. Blake Landon in there.
He's brought down by number 17, Brandon Kidd, and number 47.
And they'll put it. Actually, they'll put it 31. So we'll give him a gain of a yard, and it'll bring up 2nd and 9 at the 31-yard line. Tiabalik Vic, the running back, standing just to the right and a little bit behind Eric McGee, the quarterback. Snap is back to McGee, and McGee throws it out. Incomplete. Split the difference between a couple of receivers. It was high and away, and Darian Jefferson was sort of over there along with Keishan Thompson. And
I think what happened was he thought about throwing the little bubble screen out to Roger Adams on the right, but he saw a defender, and while he was in his throwing motion, changed his mind and kind of threw it in between that bubble screen and the long receiver, who was Darian Jefferson.
3rd and 9. Man in motion from left to right. McGee keeps it himself, cuts upfield, 30, 35. He'll be short of the first down. That's one of their better gains on the evening. Brandon Kidd brings McGee down.
And number 47, Blake Landon.
And it looks like they will punt again, and the ball will be spotted at the 36. So that's a gain of 5, but it'll be 4th and 4
at the 36.
At the Northwest 36-yard line. Rayson Churchill back deep to punt yet again. And this will be another 3 and out unless they have some trickery. Kyle Sander back deep to receive. A high punt that is coming to Kyle Sander at the 34. And a 30-yard punt. Sander flag down, 40, 45, 50, 45, and Kyle Sander upended at about the 43, but we have a flag back in Deer Creek territory at the 39.
I think I saw a 17 flash through there where the flag was thrown. It actually hit him and kind of carried a yard or two, but back at the 39, it's going to be an illegal block in the back by Brandon Kidd. It's going to bring that back and set the Antlers up probably at their own 29, which would be their worst starting field position on the night thus far, and indeed that will be the case.
Well, their worst starting field position before this was their own 49-yard line. Ball to be spotted back at the Deer Creek 29. 1st and 10 Antlers. 28-0 our score, 3:18 to go first quarter. And we've been playing for a little more than half an hour. Three receivers to the right, one to the left. Marcus Coleman, the running back. Sanders straight back to pass. Sander throws it out, had a little tunnel screen working for Cole Verbal, and Verbal was just off his fingertips, incomplete. And it's second down and 10 from the Deer Creek 29-yard line. Antlers lead at 28-0. Northwest Classen has just been absolutely overwhelmed here so far tonight. Sander with the pitch back to Marcus Coleman, fights through at the 35, and then went off and running, but he was out of bounds. Stepped out at the 38. Deontay Flowers on the stop, and that will be just short of the first down. If that's where they mark it, and it will be. That's a gain of 9, and it'll bring up 3rd and 1 at the DC 38-yard line. Pistol formation. Faked Coleman. Sander keeps it himself. Has the first down across the 40, 45, 50. Sander in the open. 45, 40, 35, 30, and will be run out of bounds inside the 35, or inside the 25, down at about the 22 or 23-yard line. A 39-yard run by Caden Sander. First down at the Northwest 23-yard line.
And that was a broken play. He faked the handoff to Coleman, and then something broke down, and he had to reverse field to find the hole, and then took off to the right with that big gain.
Three receivers to the left. That's the wide side of the field. Sanders says something to Coleman. Now fakes to him, throws in toward the end zone, and the ball is batted down. Threw it off his back foot. Didn't quite make it down there to Noah McGraw. Keishan Thompson was defending.
And Thompson reached up and volleyball spiked that ball down. If he'd have put both hands up, he could have caught that rather easily.
Second down and 10.
Second and 10 for the Antlers at the 23-yard line in Northwest territory. Sander back to pass, flips it out to Brock Rubiner. 25, 20. Rubiner with a couple of moves inside the 20, inside the 15, down to about the 12. Shante Griffin on the tackle. So Sander to Rubiner, and the gain will be down to the 12-yard line after a gain of 11 yards. Give goes to Marcus Coleman. Coleman will be knocked for a loss back about the 14. Louis Lopez on the stop. So Coleman will lose back to the 15. That's a loss of 3. And it'll bring up second down and 13 from the Northwest 15-yard line. Couple of minutes left here in the first quarter, and the Antlers leading at 28-0. Marcus Coleman has gone at running back all but I think a couple of plays when Alec James was in there. Sanders straight back to pass, throwing left. Great catch by Noah McGraw, short of the end zone, but he's down about the 5-yard line. So Sander to Noah McGraw.
Brought down by number 12.
And the gain is from the 15 down to the 5. That's a pickup of 10. So it's third down and 3.
Third down and 3.
At the Northwest 5-yard line. And we have flags.
And the hard count got the Knights to jump into the neutral zone. So
they'll move
it'll
it.
Be a half the distance penalty down to the just outside the 2, so about a half a yard from a first down.
So it's third down and 1 from the 3. It's actually closer to the 2, but statistically we have to call it the 3. Two receivers right in the low snap. Sander picks it up and is running right and is into the end zone for another Deer Creek touchdown, and it's 34-0.
Well, you can kind of tell when things are going your way when the snap rolls back there and you have to pick it up and kind of create on the fly there. And Caden Sander did a great job going towards the outside, met up with Christopher Briggs and kind of faked him and dove back to the inside into the end zone for the touchdown.
Dylan Noble on to try the extra point. Snap is back in good shape. Ball down, kick in the air. Looks good and is good. 1:02 to go. First quarter still at our score now. The Antlers 35 and Northwest Classen nothing. You're listening to Deer Creek Football on KTOK.
No problem.
That's fine with me. We're probably going to have a running clock in the second half. We may have one in the second quarter.
No problem. We can, like I said, we can get them done. And second half, we probably won't have very many timeouts.
Kicking off for the Antlers, number 16, Dylan Noble.
Still in the first quarter at Heflin Field, and it is 35-0. Deer Creek over Northwest Classen. Randy Renner and Scott Swiden with you
Make some noise.
on a beautiful Friday night. Noble's kick. It is high and a little bit short into that breeze, and it is taken by one of the up men. That's Frederian Ashley out. Nope, it's not either. It's Ladero Hollingsworth,
32,
who gets out to about the 27, maybe the 28-yard line. Ahmad Kamal with the tackle out there.
Down by number 52, Imam
And
Kamal.
we may see some
Daniel Smith.
Some of the young guys will start to come in here probably fairly soon, as this game is rapidly getting out of hand. Ball is at the 27 in Northwest Classen territory. They only brought suited up 24 players tonight.
Ball at their own 28.
Eric McGee, the quarterback, pistol formation. Tambleton Vick gets the handoff, and Vick may have it out to the 30-yard line, but no
Vic
more
on
than
the
that.
carry.
That's going to be, I think, his biggest gain of the night, 3 yards. Morgan McFerrin on the stop. That's if they, and I think they are going to put it at the 30, so that's a gain of 3.
Brought down
And
by
it's second and
47,
7
Blake Landon.
at the Northwest 30-yard line. This is their 5th possession, and they have had 4
Second down and
3
8.
and outs. And that has been it. And the Antlers have scored on every possession. Maybe a broken play here. Now McGee will run. 30, 35, and will be brought down about the 39. I think he's got the first down.
McGee, the ball carrier.
And Brock Rubener on the stop.
Brought down by number 24, Brock Rubener.
That'll be their first down of the evening. The ball is at the 39-yard line. So a
First
pickup
down
of
for
9
Northwest
yards
Classen.
for McGee.
Ball at their own 39.
And this is their best field position and their first down of the evening. And that's going to do it for the first quarter. And it has been all
That's the end of the first
Antlers.
quarter, ladies and gentlemen. Your
Timeout
Deer Creek
into the
Antlers
first quarter
35,
after about
Northwest
45
Classen
minutes
0.
here at the ball yard tonight. 35-0 our score, Antlers. We'll take a break. Be back after this with the second quarter. You're listening to Deer Creek Football on KTOK. Randy Scott Swiden back with you, and there, if you're watching us on the internet, you see the Northwest Classen Knights coming up to the line of scrimmage, and they have their first down of the evening at their own 39-yard line. 35-0 our score. One receiver to the right or the top of your screen if you're watching along. Receiver going in motion from left to right. High snap. McGee bobbles it, picked up by Tambleton Vick, and he'll lose back to the 25-yard line. Eli Hooks in on him. So Vick picked up the ball and then was trapped for a big loss. Back to the 26 is where they will mark it. That is a loss of 13. And it brings up 2nd and 23 from the Northwest 26-yard line. It has been a tough night for the Northwest Classen Knights.
Bring our 2nd down and about.
But they do have cool uniforms.
Ball their own 26-yard.
They are. That's one thing you can say.
Yes.
McGee back to pass. Eli Hooks in on him, and with that pressure, he had to dump it off, trying to get it to Tambleton Vick, but could not. Eli Hooks was all over the quarterback, and it is 3rd and 23 at the Northwest 26-yard line. It's been a great night for the Antlers. They may be taking out some Guthrie frustration here on the Northwest Classen Knights. They were ready to go. Coach Gower said they had a good week of practice.
3rd down.
And he said he wanted to put the pedal to the metal early in the game, and they've done that. 35-0 as we get started in the second quarter. Snap is back to McGee. Give goes to Frederian Ashley across the 25, 30, out near the 35-yard line, and that'll be that. Matt Hart on the stop. Frederian Ashley, and it looks like they'll mark it all the way out to the 37. So that'll be a gain of 11 yards, but it'll still be 4th down. 4th and 12 at the Northwest 37, and Rayson Churchill will be back for his 5th punt of the night for the Knights. Here's the snap back to Churchill. Gets his toe into it. Kind of a low kick. Hits at the 40 and will roll down near the 35 and 27-yard punt. And that's his worst of the night.
Well, now he's going a little bit into that northwest wind.
36-yard line, be 1st and 10.
Almost in the teeth of it. And we look down at the flag in the southeast end zone, and it's whipping pretty good. I'd say we're up in the 15 to 20 mile an hour range of wind pretty consistently.
And Deer Creek will start 1st and 10 at their own 36-yard line. Caden Sander, the quarterback. Alec James, the running back. Sander back to pass. Throws, has a man. Caught, that's Verbal. Out of the 43, 44-yard line for Darian Ashley with the stop. So Sander to Verbal for a gain out of the 44. That's a gain of 8. 2nd and 2 at the 44. Antlers quickly to the line of scrimmage. Now Sander comes back to Alec James, said something to him. Pistol formation. Now James moves just a little bit to Sanders' right. And the fake to James. Sander keeps it himself. Has the first down across the 50-yard line. Ladero Hollingsworth on the stop.
Down by Ladero Hollingsworth.
And the gain is down to the 48.
1st and 10 Antlers.
In Northwest territory.
48.
That's a gain of 8 for Caden Sander. Sander with 2 receivers right, 2 receivers left. Alec James, the running back. Sander back to pass. Throws, hits Cole Verbal at the 45, and Verbal gets down to about the 42 before Ashley makes that stop.
To number 80, Cole Verbal.
So Sander to Verbal.
Brought down by number 32, Ladero Hollingsworth.
And the gain is down to the 43. That's a pickup of 5, and it'll bring up 2nd down and 5 from the Northwest 43-yard line. Pistol formation. Sander gets the snap. Give goes to Alec James. James across the 40 to about the 39, just shy of the first down. Ladero Hollingsworth on the tackle. It'll be 3rd and very short. Ball is at the 39.
3rd down and 1.
A gain of 4, and it's 3rd and 1.
Ball the Knights 39.
At the 39. Sander, pistol formation. Alec James, the running back. 3 receivers to the left. Give good. No, Sander fakes to James. Sander keeps it himself. 35, 30. He's going to score. Cole Caden Sander
Touchdown.
with the
Antlers.
touchdown. Sander made a couple of moves, and then there
With the
he hit air.
touchdown run.
And
Not
there
a
was
lot
that-
of resistance
that
when it comes to
speed.
air.
Well, and the fake is what does it. Once he gets the fake out there, the only person left out there was the cornerback, and it was a great block out there by Michael Wilton to hold that up, and Caden Sander just blew by that man with that 4.5 speed, and he was gone.
41-0 now. And Dylan Noble on to try the extra point. Snap a little bit high. Noble with the kick. It looks good and is. 8:14 to go, second quarter. Our score now. The Antlers 42 and Northwest Classen nothing. You're listening to Deer Creek Football on KTOK. Goodness.
Got a bottle handy?
Back to receive the kick for the Knights. Number 1, Tiabalik Vic. Kicking off for the Antlers, number 16, Dylan Noble.
$42-0. Deer Creek with the lead over an outmanned Northwest Classen squad.
Here we go, get loud.
Dylan Noble ready for the kickoff, and this one is with the wind, and it is into and out of
Noble's
the end
kick goes
zone.
into
So
the end
Northwest
zone for a
Classen
touchback.
will have it 1st and 10 at their own 20-yard line.
1st and 10, Northwest Classen at their own 20.
They have had to punt 5 times so far in their first half. They just have 1 first down. This game, this has been absolute, total domination. And we're on our way to total annihilation tonight with a 42-0 score with still 8 minutes to go before halftime.
You didn't use your Cajun man voice there. Domination.
Domination and annihilation.
Exactly.
Snap back to Eric McGee. Give goes to Fredarian Ashley across the 20 out to
Fredarian Ashley,
out
the
the
ball
26. Brandon Kidd
Brought
on
down
the
by
stop
number 17, Brandon Kidd.
for Deer
Number
Creek.
5,
Ashley
Morgan
gets
McFerrin.
out to the 27. So a gain of 7 for Fredarian Ashley. It'll bring up second down
Gain
and
of 7 on the
3
play. Second
from
down
the
and
Northwest
3.
27-yard line. 7.5 to go before
Northern
halftime.
Knights,
42-0. Deer Creek. I would expect we'll see a bunch of young guys in the second half, and I also expect we'll see a running clock for much, if not all, of the second half. McGee keeps it himself. May have been a little miscommunication there to their own
McGee on the
backfield.
carry.
Brandon Kidd with the stop,
Brought down by Brandon Kidd.
and McGee
And Blake
basically
Landon.
had to eat it, and he ends up, they'll put the ball at the
Gain of 1 on
28,
the
so
play.
McGee ends
Third
up
down
getting a
and 2.
yard out of that, and
Ball
it's
to
3rd
28.
and 2 at the Northwest 28-yard line. One receiver to the right, that's the short side of the field. 2 to the left. Blitz look from Deer Creek. Blitz is coming. And the runner goes right into the blitz. And then Eli Hooks will wrap him up. That's Fredarian
on
Ashley.
the carry. He stopped behind the line of
And,
scrimmage, number 68, Eli Hooks.
So Ashley gets to the 25, so a loss of 3, and it's 4th and 5
4th down for the Knights. Back to punt.
from their
Number
own
16,
25-yard
Rayson
line,
Churchill.
and Rayson Churchill.
Back to receive for the
We've
Antlers,
seen a lot of
number
him
10,
tonight.
Kyle
This will be his
Sanders.
6th punt. Kyle Sanders standing at Northwest 43-yard line to receive this. A little bit of a high snap. Churchill has it. Gets his toe into it. Taken by Kyle at the 48. 23-yard punt. Kyle Sander coming right. Big hole. Kyle Sander to the 20, to the 15, to the 10. And let's see, fighting. Still fighting. Short of the O-line. Still fighting. Is he in? No.
They blew
not
forward
quite.
progress at the 2.
For the Antlers.
So Kyle Sander took that ball to, I think, right about the 48, and will take it down to the 42.
Churchill had him picked up off the ground at about the 2, and then the pile came in and started hitting from both sides, and that's when the referee, the white hat, went down and blew forward progress at that point. He ended up in the end zone after all, but the play had been whistled dead.
A 46-yard punt return by Kyle Sander sets the Antlers up first and goal at the Northwest 2-yard line. Pistol formation. Caden Sanders still at quarterback. Caden will keep it himself. Touchdown. Touchdown Antlers. Caden Sander with a juke to his left and then straight up the middle where there was nothing but air. And Sanders scores, and it is
ugly.
40, well, it's pretty good looking if you're a deer, but things are going to get, it's pretty ragged now. 48-0, and it's about to be 49.
Well, that was going to be a speed option play, but Caden saw a hole inside, and he ducked it up inside before even getting to the perimeter. And
Dylan Noble's extra point, his leg may be getting tired. It's good. 5:27 to go before halftime. Our score now, the Antlers 49 and Northwest Classen nothing. You're listening to Deer Creek Football on KTOK.
Back to receive for the Knights, number 1, Diabolique Vic. Kicking off for the Antlers, number 16, Dylan Noble.
Dylan Noble ready to kick off. The Antlers lead it 49-0 with 5.5 minutes to go before halftime, and the kick will sail into and out of the end zone. Caden Sander has had quite a night tonight. He has 4 touchdowns rushing and 123 yards. Instead of pointing to that, you ought to just tell me what it is. You ought to just say what it is.
I forget you can't see.
I can't see. 4 rushing touchdowns and a touchdown pass. So it's been quite the it has been quite the evening, not only for Caden Sander, but for all of the Antlers. 49-0.
And we just had our first instance of running clock right there, as the clock has been whistled in play already.
I think that I was going to say that's a good thing.
Well, the Northwest kids, we mentioned it earlier, they just don't. Many of them don't come off the field at all, and that's a concern.
Right.
And now we have a timeout by the Knights because there's confusion as to who was on the field and who should have been.
Well, we'll just keep it here for this timeout. 49-0 our score. 5:04 to go before halftime, and they brought Northwest Classen just brought 24 players up here tonight, and Scott, as you mentioned, most of them go both ways. And so these guys have been on the field a bunch, and it's a situation where, you don't want to get anyone hurt, and it's 49-0, and you don't want to just totally embarrass the opposition either. But you're also, if you're Deer Creek, you're trying to, get some work done with your guys. It's kind of a tightrope to walk a little bit.
It is. You have to get some execution work in, but at the same time, you also want to protect your own players as well from getting an injury that really is unnecessary. And at this point, I think I'm not going to say this will be the last series we see any of the starters, but certainly at halftime we won't see the starters most of the rest of the game except perhaps on special teams. In fact, we see Jackson Girard down here warming up on the sideline as we speak.
All right, we're set to go. McGee has Vick in motion from left to right. McGee will keep it himself. 20, 25, makes a move at the 30, and then will be tackled there by Blake Landon.
McGee, the ball carrier.
At about the 31.
Brought down by number 47, Blake Landon.
And that will be a first down at the 31-yard line in Northwest Territory.
First and 10.
4:40 to go in the first half.
31.
Knights huddling up, taking some time off that running clock. McGee brings his team up to the line of scrimmage. Pistol formation. Tamblin Vick, the running back, behind McGee. McGee sends Ashley in motion, gives to him. He fumbles the football. Ball is loose. And let's see, Deer Creek may have it. The Antlers are saying they do, and now the striped shirts agree. That's Daniel Smith with the fumble recovery.
By number 58, Daniel Smith.
And the Antlers will have it at the 29.
Well, they tried that jet sweep with Frederian Ashley, and he and McGee never did secure that handoff, and thus the ball on the floor, or on the turf rather, and Daniel Smith with the cover. And as we said, Jackson Girard now trots out on the field at quarterback, so that'll do it for Caden Sander on the night.
So new quarterback, Jackson Girard. We have some other new players in there as well. Give goes to Marcus Coleman, though, and Coleman gets down to about the 27. Louis Lopez on the stop. And we'll see probably a lot of running plays here. The gain is a yard. It'll bring up 2nd and 9 from the Northwest 28-yard line. Pistol formation. Girard the quarterback. Marcus Coleman is the running back, and the give goes to Coleman. Coleman, big hole, dancing at the 20, gets away from him at the 15. Coleman still on his feet at the 10, and knocked out of bounds just inside the 10 by Deontay Flowers.
Pushed out of bounds by number 4, Keishun Thompson.
The gain is 21. They'll spot it at the 7. And it's first and goal, Antlers leading 49-0.
7-yard line.
2 receivers to the right, 2 to the left. Coleman, the running back. Give goes to Coleman at the 5, and then he will be shoved back.
Marcus Coleman, the ball carrier.
Ladero Hollingsworth
Stop by number 32,
making the stop.
Hollingsworth, and number 5, Christopher Briggs.
And they will mark the ball at the 4, so it's a pickup of 3 for Coleman.
Second down and goal.
And it's 2nd and goal at the Northwest 4-yard line. Chase Lockhart, one of the receivers that's in. Snap is over everybody's head. Ball is down. Coleman picks it up, and Coleman will be tackled back about the 18-yard line.
Picked up by number 22, Marcus Coleman.
And Thomas Rhodes Newby with the stop.
Well, that snap came back low to Jackson Girard, and it actually skipped through his hands and past Coleman. Girard tried to go back and get it, and Coleman was in his way. Luckily, Marcus saw that, went back and got it. Instead of falling on it, though, he tried to make something out of it and ends up losing 14 yards.
Ball is back at the 18-yard line. Girard back to pass, rolling to his left, looking. Now will run. 20, 15, 10, and brought down right in there. And it'll be 4th down and goal.
And the tackler for Classen, I'm trying to spot him, is down just out of bounds on the far side. Is that Lopez?
And we'll see the field
he's
goal.
Going to have to get some assistance over there. Just out of bounds past the boundaries at the 10-yard line. It's Luis Lopez.
Official timeout.
And it was a good shoestring tackle because Girard had more open space had Lopez not made that tackle.
Ball is spotted at the 10-yard line. And Dylan Noble is on to try the field goal. Ball will be spotted at the 17. Will be put down there by Caden Sander. Here's the kick by Dylan Noble. On the way, looks good and is good. Timeout on the field, 1 minute and 37 seconds to go before halftime. We'll take a break here. It's 52-0 Antlers. You're listening to Deer Creek Football on KTOK.
How far ahead are you on breaks right now? If you're quite a ways away on these kickoffs, you might just. Okay. All right, never mind then. Okay.
Back to receive for the Knights. Number 1, Tiabalik Vic. Dylan Noble set to kick off for the Antlers.
Back at Eflin Field, Randy Renner, Scott Wyden, and the Deer Creek Antlers.tv crew, Dylan Noble, getting set to kick off.
Make some noise.
You see the Antlers there if you're watching with us on the internet. Dylan Noble's kick is underway, and this one will go also into and out of the end zone, and Northwest Classen will have it first and 10 at their own 20-yard line. Antlers lead it 52-0 after a 27-yard field goal by Dylan Noble. Noble is now 9 of 13 on field goals this season, his longest 55 yards from back early in the season.
Yeah, I've got a Thunder score for you, Randy.
Ooh,
with
boy,
1:52 left in the second quarter.
That is 10 kinds of ugly there.
The T-Wolves have a 20-point lead on the Thunder
Goodness.
after a 34-19 first quarter, 20-15 in the second quarter. 54-34 is the score for
That's
your
about
boys
as
in
ugly.
blue.
That is ugly, ugly, ugly. All right, give goes to the first man through, and he's going to be dropped for a loss. That's Hamilton Vick. Eli Hooks was in there, and Brock Rubener was in there. And
behind the line of scrimmage by number 68, Eli Hooks.
so Vick with a loss back to the 17,
Are they
lost to
wearing
3.
those silly dark blue special uniforms
Loss
tonight?
of 3
Because
on the
those
play.
are
Second
the
down and
worst.
13.
They're worse than the old Dallas Cowboys
Ball at the
blues in the
17-yard
60s. They're a jinx. I don't like them.
What are you talking? What?
Those Thunder Blue.
Oh, the Thunder Blue.
Silly,
Oh.
ugly.
I don't know.
ugly,
I have no
cheap-looking
idea.
things.
I have no
Ugh.
idea what they're wearing.
I hate those
I've
things.
not been seeing anything, but boy, it's
Okay.
it's
I
not
don't
a very
like
good
those.
looking score. I'll tell you that.
No.
It's a good looking score here, 52-0. McGee back to pass, hits Frederian Ashley at the 25, and Ashley will get out near the first down at the 28. 14 seconds to go before halftime, and
McGee's
we may
pass
not
is
have another
complete to
play
number
here
2, Frederian
as the
Ashley.
clock continues to run. Now 7 seconds, and
Brought
the
down by Kyle
officials,
Sander and
that
Blake
will be it.
Yeah.
We're headed to halftime as the Deer Creek Antlers just clobbering Northwest Classen tonight.
That's
We'll
the
see a
end of the
lot
first
more
half,
of the
ladies
young
and
guys
gentlemen, with Deer Creek
as we roll
52,
into the second half
Northwest Classen 0.
with a 52-0 score, as the Antlers have just totally dominated the first half here tonight against Northwest Classen. And we've had a running clock for a little bit here in the first half. We'll have a running clock, I would expect, basically the entire second half as well. We'll take a break. We're at halftime. When we come back, we'll run down the scoring plays, and Scott will have the statistical information for you, and it's been, as you might expect, very much one-sided. And now we are going to have, as we've seen, Coach Gower and the head referee have chatted, and they've given the indication that there will be a running clock in the second half. So our halftime score, 52-0 Antlers. We'll take our halftime break, and we'll be back to run down the scoring plays and the stats. So stay with us. You're listening to Deer Creek Football on KTOK.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Let's go ahead and go with the same format that we usually do. 3-2-2-3. Because we're going to have a running clock in the second half, so we may not. So let's go ahead and do our regular format, 3-2-2-3, and then we'll see what we have left in the second half. And if we run out of regular spots, we may throw a couple PSAs in, or maybe Scott and I will just talk during timeouts or whatever. Okie dokie. Are you good on that, Steve? Hello. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, you can do the liners at halftime. And then, like I said, we'll just stay with our regular format at halftime, and then we'll see whatever we have left. We'll do.
Ladies and gentlemen, also congratulations to Peyton Bates for making Oklahoma All-Region. Now, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Deer Creek High School varsity
Do what now? Okay. Yeah, let's go ahead and we'll play our regular format so we can get some of these third quarter spots in here at halftime. And because, like I say, we'll have a running clock in the second half. Randy Ritter, Scott Wyden back with you from Heflin Field at Deer Creek, where the Antlers lead it 52-0 over Northwest Classen. And the last score we had from Minneapolis tonight, the Thunder trailing the Timberwolves 54-34. And we'll look at the box score on that. It's approaching halftime in Minneapolis. We'll update you on what's going on up there. The scoring plays, and there are a whole lot of them for Deer Creek. The Antlers took the opening kickoff and drove right straight down the field. Caden Sander going the last 24 yards for the touchdown, and it was 7-0. They started at the Northwest 44-yard line, and it took them 5 plays to go those 44 yards, and it was 7-0. 3 and out for Northwest Classen on the Antlers' next possession. 5 plays, 32 yards. Sander hit Noah McGraw on an 11-yard touchdown pass, and it was 14-0. The Northwest Classen Knights, again, 3 and out on their second possession. And this time, the Antlers took over in their own territory for the first time. And on the very first play of the drive, Marcus Coleman sprints 51 yards for a touchdown, and it was 21-0. On the Knights' next possession, they also could not get a first down. 3 and out after a 33-yard punt. A big return set the Antlers up 1st and 10 at the Northwest 24-yard line. 4 plays later, they were in the end zone. Marcus Coleman scoring from 8 yards out, and it was 28-0. Another 3 and out for Northwest Classen. You're getting kind of the theme of the night here. And then it was a pretty good punt by Northwest Classen, and Deer Creek started at their own 29-yard line, by far and away their worst field position of the night. That did not bother them very much. They just went on their longest drive of the evening. Caden Sander capping it off with a 3-yard touchdown run, and it was 35-0. Caden Sander had a 39-yard run in there as well, and it ended up being an 8-play, 71-yard drive for 35-0 score. On Northwest Classen's next possession, they actually managed to pick up a first down, but on their first down play, Vic recovered a fumble after a 13-yard loss, and they ended up having to punt again. And on Deer Creek's next possession, Caden Sander goes 39 yards for a touchdown. It was 42-0. Deer Creek then forced another 3 and out by Northwest Classen, and a long punt return by Kyle Sander, 46 yards, set the Antlers up 1st and 10 at the 2-yard line, or 1st and goal at the 2-yard line. Caden Sanders scored again, 49-0, and then a 27-yard field goal by Dylan Noble topped off the scoring in the first half. 52-0 is where we stand right now. And if you could not keep track of all those scoring plays, Caden Sander had 4 rushing touchdowns and a touchdown pass in the first half. We'll take a break. When we come back, Scott Swiden will update us on the stats. You're listening to Deer Creek Football on KTOK. Instead of, I thought we were going to go, okay. And then you're done for the game? And then you're done for the game? Well, yeah. That's what I said. I thought I wanted to stay with our. Well, no, not here at our regular 2 minute. I was going to go 3 minutes, 2 minutes, 2 minutes, 3 minutes. There's just the regular halftime stuff because we're going to have a running clock in the second half, and if we don't move those second half spots up, we may not get a chance to run them all.
Thank you. Back at Heflin Field, Scott Swiden with a quick look at statistical information as you hear a little Boogie Wonderland in the background, and you're also going to hear the Deer Creek Antler High School Band in the background too a little bit. Let's listen in on them for just a second. They do a great job on the field. Northwest Classen tonight, as Randy told you, just a couple of first downs, lots of punts, but the Knights have a total of 7 yards rushing, and they're led by Frederian Ashley, as they have been most of the season. He's got 4 carries for 16 yards. Eric McGee, the quarterback, was sacked a couple of times. He has a total of 6 carries for 2 yards, and Tabalik Vic has also 6 carries. He is at minus 11 now. He had to go back and cover up a bad snap that really got him into the negative yardage. McGee is also 2 of 7 throwing the ball for 14 yards, so 21 total yards of offense for the Knights. The 2 receptions were both by Frederian Ashley for those 14 yards. The Knights have been penalized twice for a total of 9 yards. They've had 2 odd-numbered penalties, a 7-yarder and a 2-yarder based on the field position, both half the distance penalties. Taking a quick look at the Antler stats, they've already rolled up 219 yards on the ground, led by Caden Sanders, 9 carries for 123 yards. Marcus Coleman has 11 carries for 81 yards. Now, that would be up around 95, except for that 14-yard loss on the bad snap there late in the second quarter. Alec James has 2 carries for 7 yards, and Jackson Gerard has that 1 carry for 8 yards on the scramble. Caden Sander thus far on the night is 8 of 12 for 81 yards passing. So the Antlers total in at 300 yards total offense in the first half. Catching the ball tonight for the Antlers, Cole Verbal has 3 catches for 22 yards. Noah McGraw, 2 catches for 21 yards. And with one catch each, Marcus Coleman, 14 yards, Michael Wilton, 13 yards, and Brock Rumener, 11 yards. So every Antler that has caught a pass is in double digits yardage on passing for those 81 yards. And Deer Creek has 2 illegal block in the back penalties, one on a kickoff return, one on a punt return, for a total of 20 yards in penalties as well. So the Antlers on the night, that's the statistical rate. Let's listen to this. The band's doing a good job out here. Let's listen a little bit more, as we've got such a long halftime, and second half's going to run by pretty fast. But the Antlers leading 52-0 with that outstanding first half. And gosh, they really couldn't have played a whole lot better. As we said, only 2 penalties, and they did pick up a Northwest Classen turnover as well, as Daniel Smith fell on a fumble recovery for Deer Creek in Northwest Classen territory. All right, our score once again, Deer Creek 52, Northwest Classen 0. We're at the half at Heflin Field. We'll be back with more Antler football. You're listening to Deer Creek Antler football on News Radio 1000 KTOK. Thank you very much. Okay, very good.
Why don't you pull up the, see what the damage is with
Still 20.
Cheapers. Now let's pull up the box score and see what. Boy.
Look at this. Nobody in positive plus minus. Nobody. Kevin Love already has 8 boards.
Yeah, 14 points. Ooh-wee.
Let's have a big hand for the Antler Pride Marching Band. The Antler Pride is under the musical direction of Roger Gregory.
Randy Ritter and Scott Wyden back with you from Heflin Field. 52-0 our score. And the Deer Creek Antlers, try as they might tonight, have not been able to catch up with the Minnesota Timberwolves, because the T-Wolves have 59 halftime points. However, the Antlers have, at halftime, managed to outscore the Oklahoma City Thunder by quite a bit, because the Thunder only have 39. Yikes.
Yeah, well, Minnesota has given the Thunder difficulties.
Well, they won.
They always have.
They won the 2 games played in Minneapolis last season, and they're winning handily tonight, 59-39 at halftime.
And when Kevin Love has been in the lineup, the times the Thunder has won, has been in overtime, and maybe twice in overtime. I mean, it's just
one
been
of those
that
was
kind
a
of series.
Triple overtime game too.
And Kevin Love had 51 that night.
That night, yes.
Yeah.
And Serge Ibaka had a triple double, and Russell. Let's see.
And
I think
Durant
KD
had 50 or 51.
Had 50 some odd points, and Russell Westbrook had 40 points, and Serge Ibaka had a triple double that night. And if I remember correctly, I think that's the first time. That was the first time in NBA history that had happened.
But
that
not
one
tonight.
player had 50 plus, another player had 40 plus, and another player had a triple double.
Would you put it past the people at the Target Center to monkey with the rim and see the Thunder has jumped out and scored the first bucket of the second half? Would they monkey with the rim at the Target Center to mess with the Thunder? I mean, I wouldn't put it past them.
Golly.
Well, you never
Boy,
know. You never know.
Yeah, that's right. But no, I don't think
Okay.
they're. I think it's just a bad night.
You
Just
know,
a bad
I mean,
night for the Thunder. KD just had 11 points at halftime, and he was the only Thunder player in double figures, so not much going on offensively for the Thunder. And the Timberwolves with a lot of offense, which is usually what they have, but they tend not to play very good defense, but they may be tonight because the Thunder just 39 points at halftime. That's not very good. What's their shooting
it's
percentage
not been,
there,
and it's
Scott?
not been the threes either. The Thunder right now are shooting 36% overall, just under 31 from three. Minnesota's only shooting 40%, so it's not like they're doing anything spectacular. They're only 27% from the three-point line, so it's not
Well, they
anything
must
spectacular.
Be,
but let's
there
look
it is. There's where it is. They're 18 of 21 on free throws.
Yeah,
they've had 21 free throws in the first half.
And the Thunder also have 13 turnovers already.
Yeah, those
scary.
aren't good
To
numbers.
Minnesota's 4, so that's scary. And then the Timberwolves score their first free throw of the second half. So, well, it's one of those things. So the Sooners are off tomorrow and have a Thursday
Baylor.
night game next week.
Down in Waco, and they're
Waco
taking the tarp off the end zone there.
I don't think I take that back. I think once I have seen a game when Texas has played there that the tarp has not been on is it the south end zone
To the
seats?
south end zone at Floyd Casey Stadium.
Yeah,
Yes.
and it will be one of the, I guess they only have about 2 or 3 games remaining at
the
Floyd
tarp
Casey
will be off
Stadium.
for Texas, too. Yeah, they're moving into a new stadium next season that's just, I've seen
right on I-35
and right on the
Brazos
River,
River, the east side of and the south side of the river, the east side of the highway. I saw the construction this summer in July when I was down there. It's pretty impressive. The whole thing, there's a walkway that goes across the river to it. I mean, it's a really neat-looking deal.
I've seen some pictures, and it does look impressive. And the Oklahoma State Cowboys with one of the big games in the nation tomorrow, playing Texas Tech out in Lubbock, 6 o'clock on Big Fox.
And I have confirmed from a current student at Tech that they do indeed freeze tortillas and throw them at opposing players.
Well, now, they still do that?
Yes.
See, I thought
Yes.
the Big 12 had put the kibosh on that.
I mean, they try to do a lot of things. You notice that the paddle people in Stillwater are back beating on the
but
pads up all the way to the play. They were in the TCU game, all the way to the start of the play. They weren't stopping as they were told to do last year. So they're not enforcing these things. But, yeah, they still freeze the tortillas and throw them at the opponents as they come down the ramp in AT&T Jones
now,
Stadium.
do they throw them with some salsa also? Or
No, I think they become Frisbee tortillas.
Frisbee
Yes.
tortillas.
Yes. And
As
I'm
long
not
as-
sure
as
if
long
like,
as
if
you
wear
got
your
some good
helmet.
salsa.
Well, I don't
You
think.
know.
No, but frozen flour tortillas are not very good. That's just salsa or not.
Well, especially if they hit you in the face.
Yeah, you got to wear your helmet when you go on and off the field.
You know,
at
every
Jones
time
Stadium.
I've been to Lubbock, I've worn a helmet.
I blame you.
It's not always
Well,
a good place to be, especially if you're wearing bright orange.
I do like the fact that no longer does the Big 12 have an orange bow tie because that was hazardous on the sidelines in Norman. We got
with
filled
all the
with
oranges.
Oh my!
Yeah, they don't do
that's
that.
dangerous.
Don't do that anymore. All right, we're
63-47, by the way, is the T-Wolves Thunder score, so the Thunder have cut into the lead by 4 in the first 3 minutes of the third quarter.
Our score is still 52-0, though. Here at halftime, we're going to see a bunch of the young guys with Deer Creek. We're going to have a running clock also here throughout, we believe, the second half. 52-0, our score. We'll take our last 3-minute break here before kickoff, and then we'll be back with the second half. 52-0, our score. You're listening to Deer Creek Football on KTOK.
This Cat and Jim Purdue and Red Rover, over.
Well, golly jeepers.
You don't remember Captain Jim Purdue?
Yeah.
Red Rover over?
I absolutely remember Captain Jim.
That's as quality a line as this. Your Cowboy baseball reporter, Bill Platt.
Rounded third and heading home.
Or FOC, full of Cowboys.
Okie dokie. Randy Ritter and Scott Swiden back with you as we get set for the second half, and Deer Creek leading 52-0 over Northwest Classen. And we want to remind you that Deer Creek football throughout the 2013 season is brought to you by OG&E, First Liberty Bank, and the Deer Creek Sonic at Northwest 178th and Portland. Antler football also brought to you by Heritage Feeders, Cimarron Construction, Swadley's Barbecue, the Deer Creek Chamber of Commerce, Deer Creek Storage, Edmund Hyundai, Teeners Western Outfitters, the Renaissance Hotel in downtown Oklahoma City, Precision Telephone, P&K John Deere, Genesis Urgent Care, Reynolds Ford, and the Deer Creek Animal Clinic. 52-0, and talking about clinics, the Deer Creek has put on one tonight, both offensively and defensively. They've totally dominated this game.
They have. I think we expected for the most part. But, it was McGinnis, I think, that this Classen team played fairly close with just a 20-point game, like 38-18. Does that ring a bell, I think?
It was a little bit worse than that, but it was.
Well, there was
some wasn't
score.
Too much
No,
worse
maybe
than
it was
that.
Carl
And then
Albert.
Carl Albert beat him 52-14.
Okay.
But their close games were against Western Heights and Guyman. They beat Western Heights 25-12. They beat Guyman 27-15. They lost to El Reno 28-0, a team that Deer Creek beat 70-0, and then Carl Albert beat them 52-14. Those are the common opponents that Deer Creek and Northwest Classen have played.
Set to kick off for the Antlers will be number 16, Dylan Noble.
And we mentioned last week, we can explain a little further now, this, though it is a home game for Deer Creek, was scheduled to be this year a road game. However, the Knights have no stadium across the street right now. It's under construction. That would be Taft Stadium. So they agreed to have Deer Creek as the home team, and Deer Creek gave them a guarantee of cashola, which they would have had they had the home game. So that's why we've had 2 years in a row here hosting the Northwest Classen Knights.
Dylan Noble will kick off as we begin the second half, and this kick will sail into and out of the end zone. And Northwest Classen will have it first down at their own 20-yard line. And as
the official is trying to run the clock, and they're not. There it goes. No, it hasn't gone.
Now it's
there
going.
It okay.
Ball at their own 20-yard line.
Clock operator wasn't cooperating with the running clock theory.
Yeah, that's going to, yeah. Well, again, it's a safety issue. With the Northwest Classen players just are on the field too much, basically.
52-0 our score, and a lot of young players in there now for Deer Creek. Fredarian Ashley with the carry, and boy, he's going to be dropped for a big loss. They'll blow the whistle. He's all the way back at the 5, but it'll be come up further than that. And Daniel Smith still in there.
By number 17, Brandon Kidd.
Brandon Kidd also with a stop.
I see most of the first-team defense out there right now, Randy. It kind of surprises me a little bit.
Vic loses 5, and it'll bring up second and 16.
Second down and 15 for the Knights.
Ball is back at the Northwest 15-yard line.
Maybe come out and play this first series just to stay in a routine of coming out after halftime ready to play.
Eric McGee is still in a quarterback for Northwest Classen, fumbles the snap. Now gets the pass off to Fredarian Ashley, who drops it incomplete. And it's third down.
That's about the 5th time that the center snap has been off target for the Knights. That one was a bullet back there into McGee's face mask. I mean, that was a bullet. That should have been a deep snap right there.
Third down and 15.
Third and 15 for Northwest Classen. And they're staying in the huddle for a little while, and now we'll come out, play clock down to 10 seconds. McGee brings his team to the line of scrimmage. Vic, the running back, pistol formation, snap back to McGee. McGee keeps it himself, now pitches to Vic, 15, 20, out to the 25.
That was a well-executed option play right there.
Vic will get out to the 25, a gain of 10, but it'll be fourth down and 5 at the Northwest 25-yard line, and we'll see.
That was a pitch that Jamel Holloway would have been proud of.
It was executed well. They got 10 yards. Rayson Churchill with the punt, short. Hits it in Northwest territory at the 43 and out to the 48. Punt of 22 yards. So another 3 and out. Let's see. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6.
7, 8, 9, 10.
3 and outs.
Oh, 6. Okay.
6 3 and outs for Northwest Classen. And the Antlers have it first and 10 in at the Classen 47-yard line. Gerard keeps it himself, 45, 40. Gerard with a move, 35, 30. Gerard trying to turn that speed on, can't get away from Northwest Classen, but gets down near the 15. Louis Lopez on the stop. 31-yard run by Gerard.
Also in on the stop.
Down to the 16-yard line.
First and 10 for the Antlers.
Alec James, the running back with Gerard. Brock Rubiner in a slot left. Chase Lockhart in the game. He's split wide left as well. Snap back to Gerard. Give goes to Alec James. James reverses field. 15, 10. Fighting forward down to about the 6. Christopher Briggs on the stop. And James will get very close to that first down, but not quite. Down at the 7, gain of 9.
Where they're spotting the ball, it's inside the 6. That is clearly a first down.
Well, they've not. All right, it is first. Well,
the linesman on this
now
side
they've moved it to second.
It's first and goal is what it is.
All right, give goes to Alec James,
and
James plows into the end zone, and that's a touchdown.
Touchdown, Antlers. Number 42, Alec James.
Well, that was just a straight-ahead handoff over the left side, and the left side of the offensive line had created a gigantic hole there, and James just ran. He was hit at about the 2 and powered his way into the end zone for the touchdown.
Kyle Sander will hold rather than Caden Sander.
And somebody's missing
and,
at left tackle, left guard, rather.
And the coaches are looking. They could probably just go ahead and do this with 10 guys out there.
Yeah,
be my guess.
Somebody is going to get a chewing on here because they can't find who it is, and they finally send out. Who's that going out there? It's going to be Burke Major. He's going to take a spot there at the left guard spot.
Down to 4 seconds on the play clock. 2 seconds, 1 second. Snap is back. Ball is in the air. Looks good. Is good. Timeout on the field, 7:02 to go in the third quarter, and our score now 59-0. Antlers over Northwest Classen. You're listening to Deer Creek Football on KTOK. Well, that's unfortunate.
Cut it to 12.
12?
22, sorry.
Back to receive the kickoff for the Knights, number 1, Tiabalik Vic. Kicking off for Deer Creek, number 16, Dylan Noble.
Yeah, and Deer Creek's on a roll tonight, too. 59-0 our
Very
score.
good. Work with the music.
I'm
Good
trying.
job.
Dylan Noble with another kickoff, and this one will boom into the end zone again.
Noble's kick goes into the end zone.
And this is what Northwest would like to do.
First and 10, Northwest Classen at the 20-yard line.
Hey, that was just too easy. It was a good setup, don't you think?
It was.
Thank you.
Clock is rolling now, and the ball will be spotted at the 20-yard line.
And now we see second teamers in the game. I see Kiwanis Roberts out there. I see Hayden Fox out there. Hey, Hayden Fox, you know, he did a great job coaching.
Coach
Yeah.
at Minnesota State?
Yeah.
Yeah. You'd think he'd be a little old to be out there, but give goes to Tambleton Vic across the 20, 25-0. Big hole. Vic is going to score. Tambleton Vic is busting this one all the way for a touchdown.
Touchdown, Northwest
Tambleton
Classen.
Vic goes 80
Number 1,
yards.
Tiabalik Vic with the 80-yard run.
And there's that speed.
Yeah.
It didn't take much. Once he got in the open field, that's the first time he's been able to have any
First
sort
time
of
he's been in
opening
the
at
open
all.
field, yeah.
Exactly. And he just blew by everybody out there.
Well, Tambleton Vic came into tonight's game with 716 yards rushing, and Frederian Ashley came in with 990 yards rushing and 505 yards receiving.
Well, they just quadrupled their yardage on one play. It did.
Imagine that.
At
And
21
they're going to
or so
go
yards.
for two.
Yeah.
Classen will attempt a
I don't
but-
know that they have somebody that can kick.
Well, I
after
was
we saw
going
the
to say,
kickoff.
I don't think they have hopes of getting back into the game. They just don't have anybody who can kick an extra point. And McGee, the quarterback, is going to be dropped short on the conversion attempt. So 59-6 is our score after the touchdown from Northwest Classen. So timeout on the field, 5:55 to go. Third quarter, our score 59-6 now. Deer Creek over Northwest. You're listening to Deer Creek Football on KTOK.
With 5:55 left to play in the third, Deer Creek 59, Northwest Classen 6. Kicking off for the Knights, number 53, Luis Lopez.
Did you see this?
Back to receive for the Antlers, number 80, Full Verbal. And number 2, Chase Lockhart.
The kickoff comes short, taken by Chase Lockhart at the 25, and Chase gets out to about the 35-yard line, and Rayson
Chase
Churchill
Lockhart on the return for the Antlers.
tackles him, and let's see where they will
Number 16, Rayson Churchill.
spot the ball. Looks like right at the
Number 44, Jaquan
35, well, maybe the 34.
First and 10 Antlers.
At the 35 is where they'll put the ball down. Jackson Gerard, still the quarterback, has 3 receivers split out to the left. We'll try to pick up some of those numbers. Gerard, low snap, gives to the running back, and that's Alec James as he tries to power forward, and James gets near the 40-yard line. Tackled by Ladariel Hollingsworth. And the ball is out to the 38, and that's a gain of 3. And it's 2nd and 7.
Pass along a couple of scores, Randy. Midwest City currently leading Edmond North 13-6 in the middle of the third quarter. Jinx leads Bixby, also middle third quarter, 31-7.
Jackson Gerard at quarterback. Tyler Wagner is now in a receiver on the right side, and Gerard will keep it himself out to the 40-yard line.
Brought down by Thomas Newby.
Gerard had a 31-yard run earlier tonight. The gain is a couple, and it'll bring up 3rd and 5 at the Deer Creek 40-yard line. 3 receivers split out to the left. Chase Lockhart, one of them. Give goes to Alec James. Oh, and James is popped at the 46, and he'll be slow to get up. And has that, well, it's not his head that's bothering him, it's his right leg. Briggs in on the tackle along with Hollingsworth.
Well, Hollingsworth had him around the ankles and wrapped his ankles up, and when he lost that balance, Briggs came in and just plowed his face mask right into the chest plate of those shoulder pads of Alec James. It looks like the Antlers are just short and are going to go for it.
4th and 1 for the Antlers.
It's 4th and 1. Jackson Gerard still in there at quarterback. Chase Lockhart, a receiver on the left side. Also over there is, well, the give goes to Brock Rubener. Rubener will have the first down as he comes left, gets out near the 50-yard line, now moves just across the 50. And that'll be a first down for the Antlers. Evan Winfrey and Keishan Thompson on the stop. Rubener will get into Northwest territory at their 49. It's a gain of 7. First and 10 Antlers at the 49.
Just kept bouncing outside and finally got around the corner.
Snap back to Gerard. Gerard will keep it himself. Now pitches, and the runner gets, that's Brock Rubener inside the 45. Keishan Thompson, and they'll spot him back, looks like at the 45.
I think we're going to get it to the 47.
And they are going to move it back to the 47.
That was an ill-advised pitch by Jackson Gerard. He waited too long, and when he did, he almost threw it over the right shoulder of Brock Rubener. It was a good catch by Brock. 59
to 6. Our score. Snap, low snap to Gerard, picks it up, gives to Rubener. Rubener in big trouble, will be dropped back at the Deer Creek 47 by Thomas Rhodes Newby. And they'll put the ball, it's at the 47, so that'll be a loss of 6. And it'll be 3rd and 14 at the Deer Creek 47. 1:40 to go, third quarter, 59 to 6.
Tyler Wagner, Chase Lockhart, Jonathan Richardson, just some of the receivers in the game right now for the Antlers.
Brock Rubener, the running back, Gerard, the quarterback. Gerard rolling to his left, looking, fires the pass, caught at the 50-yard line and out of bounds, short of the first down.
Looked like Eric Doe over there, and he made the catch, but the problem was the ball was delivered a little late, and he's only going to get a couple of yards out of it because he ran out of room on the far side.
4th down for the Antlers.
The gain is to the 49, so that is a pickup of 2. And it'll be 4th and 12. Roger Adams back deep to receive. This will be the first punt of the night for Deer Creek. Dylan Noble ready to get his leg into it, and it is a high kick that hits at the 19 and then bounces upfield to about the 23 and then goes out of bounds. Just a 28-yard punt by Deer Creek. 41 seconds to go here in the third quarter.
Noble's punt rolls out of bounds.
And Deer Creek
at the Northwest Classen
with the
24.
issue well in hand,
First and 10
59-6.
And we're rapidly running out of third quarter play. They've stopped the clock momentarily to spot the ball. Not sure
For some
why.
reason, I was going to say, I don't know why. The officials are saying roll the clock, but the clock isn't rolling.
It is now.
.34 seconds to go now. Ball is at the 24-yard line in Classen territory. McGee keeps it himself. Coming left, 25, 30, 35, 40, out to the 45.
Eric McGee, the ball carrier.
And maybe a shade beyond. Kiwanis Roberts on the stop.
Tony Rayburn.
And the ball will be spotted at the 46. That's a gain of 22 for McGee. Ball at the Classen 46.
That's going to be the end of the third quarter.
And the
McGee's a little shaken up, so that was a good break for him.
And that is the end of the third quarter. Our score 59-6. Deer Creek will take a break. You're listening to Deer Creek Football on KTOK.
Some scores of interest. Shawnee 49, Tulsa Hill 6. Hill City 14, Duncan 7. These games are still in progress. Carl Albert 50, Western Heights 6. Guthrie 30, Bishop McGinnis 7. Resuming play, Northwest Classen has first and 10 at their own 46.
McGee still in at quarterback for Northwest Classen as we begin the fourth quarter. McGee passing deep down the right side, has a man, but the ball is overthrown. And that was Darian Jefferson who was out there.
McGee's pass is incomplete.
That was McGee shows some promise. That was a very good read. He looked out. It was supposed to be a bubble screen to Ashley, but the Antlers had read that. Tony Rayburn had jumped up and cut that off, and McGee patiently looked downfield to his second read and just overthrew Jefferson. But what a beautiful pass. If he gets a little bit more air under that, that's a touchdown. It's the second time the Antlers have bit up on that bubble screen and not covered the back end.
And the second time that the pass was overthrown in those situations by McGee. Snap is back to him, and give goes on the jet sweep. And that is for Darian Ashley on the carry. And someone that we may not have a number for.
We don't have a 32.
Well, they've gone into the guys that we don't have numbers for, so there you go. Ball is out to the 49. That's a gain of 3 for Ashley, and it's 3rd and 7.
Third down and 7 for the Knights.
At the Knights' 49-yard line. 10:29 to go in the game. Deer Creek leading 59-6. Eric McGee, the quarterback. Give goes to the running back for Darian Ashley. He's down to the 45, maybe even the 44. If he gets there, it's a first down.
He's got it.
Ahmad Kamal making the stop, and I think they're going to give Ashley that first down as at the 44. So that's a gain of
7.
First and 10.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Ball to Deer
I
Creek,
try.
44.
Ball at the Antler 44-yard line. Ashley now comes in a slot right, and Tamblin Vick a slot left. McGee, the quarterback, we saw this earlier where it was a pass right down the middle, and we'll see. And this is time it's a pass down the right side, and overthrown by just a little bit, intended for Darian Jefferson, who was double covered by Nick Farmer, was one of those. And it's 2nd and 10 at the Deer Creek 44-yard line. Taj Davidson in there now.
Gosh, we haven't seen Taj since the first game of the year against Piedmont, I don't think.
Ball to Deer Creek 44.
Got a whole slew of young Antlers out there right now on defense. We'll try and pick up some of those as we can.
Give goes to Tambleton Vick on the jet sweep from right to left, and Vick down inside the 30 to the 25, and that'll be another first down for Northwest.
There's our man Hayden Fox on the tackle.
And the gain is down to the 25, so that's a pickup of 19.
If we can just get Luther and Dauber in on a couple of tackles, we'll be set.
Ball is at the Deer Creek 25, 59-6. Antlers with the lead. Northwest scored a few moments ago on an 80-yard run by Tambleton Vick. McGee back to pass, in trouble, jailbreak, and he will be dropped for a loss of 5 back at the 30. Ahmad Kamal and Tony Rayburn. And in on the sack of McGee, and that'll be a loss of 5. And it brings up 2nd and 15 from the Deer Creek 30. Clock running with 7:45 to go in the game. Northwest Classen huddling up. Now they break the huddle and send Frederian Ashley to a slot left. Vick, the running back, and Ashley will go in motion from left to right. Give goes to Vick. Big hole up the middle. Has room down to the 20. Caleb Garrison in on the stop. So Vick goes from the 30 down to the 22. A gain of 8. And it'll be 3rd down.
Gain of 3 on the play.
And
3rd down and
7.
Ball to Deer Creek 22.
Pistol formation for Northwest. McGee, give goes to the running back, Vick, and he's not going to get very much. In fact, he's going to lose yardage back to the 29, and that's a loss of a couple. Donovan Haley, or back to the 24, rather. So Vick loses 2, and it'll bring up 4th and 9 from the Deer Creek 24.
Well, it sounds like we weren't the only ones without a number 32 on the roster.
That's right. Some guys out there that we don't have up here in the broadcast.
But we did have Donovan Haley. He was in on that tackle.
Now it's a little shovel pass to Vick, and he's going to be brought down for a loss. Back about the 28. Tony Rayburn.
Number 1, Vick. He's wrapped up by number 4, Tony Rayburn.
So McGee to Vick for a loss. Back to the 29. That's a loss. 2nd and 15 with a minute to go in the game. Pistol formation for Classen. McGee gives to Tambleton Vick, runs into a wall at the 45, makes a move, gets away at the 40, now down to the 35 and out of bounds.
He's run out of bounds by number 23.
And the clock stops, although it should have probably kept rolling. But that's okay. 59-6. Ball at the 33 now. 3rd and 6 for the Knights. McGee, the quarterback. And McGee fumbles the football and falls on it back at the 42.
Recovered by number 10, Eric McGee.
30 seconds to go.
I don't think we're going to see another play, Randy, unless Classen hurries things up.
Well,
here.
McGee is leaving the game there.
No, he's going over to get the play. He's been doing that quite a bit
I think
lately.
the play is to let's go into the locker room.
Yeah,
That'd
well,
be
that's what it's going to end up. Although
I would
hurrying
say
back
it's
out here.
student body left, and away we go.
They're going to try and get one more play off here. I don't know that they're going to make it. I don't think they
5
are.
seconds, 3 seconds, 2 seconds, 1 second. There's the snap. Nope, whistles, and that'll do it. That's the end of the ball game, and Deer Creek wins it tonight, 59-6. The Antlers were ahead 52-0 at halftime, and then a bunch of freshmen and sophomores were in there. Some we don't even have their numbers on our rosters that we have up here in the radio booth nor the public address booth. But a big win tonight for Deer Creek, 59-6. Sets up what will be a very, very important ball game next Friday when Bishop McGinnis comes in here. They were getting beaten by Guthrie tonight. Score we heard a little bit ago. I think it was like 30-7 or so that Guthrie was ahead of McGinnis. We'll take a break and be back for our post-game show. We'll wrap things up. 59-6, the final. You're listening to Deer Creek Football on KTOK.